So actually, it's tax season now. They start a new year, and I realized actually the taxes is actually a lot more simple in Japan than the US. Couple of things. If you make less than 20 million yen a year, the company actually does the tax for you. Literally, they will do the tax for you, all the deduction adjustments, and then pay you. So which is great. Like literally, for a normal person, you don't have your own taxes. In the US, you gotta do your own taxes or hire someone, right? Or you can learn about it. It takes time. Versus Japan, they just do it for you, which is fantastic. Now, the tricky part is that's only if you don't do anything. Don't invest, just do everything within the company and problem solved. But now if you do outside investments and have incomes or other incomes outside of the company, then you got your own taxes anyway. So in that sense, hey, having be able to do that is a lot easier, but it's also not. But one other thing is medical expenses. So you know how in the US we all private, we have to basically collect all the receipts or documentation and send that to our, you know, accountants. Well, basically in Japan, if you have your My Numbers card, which actually ties directly and registered to your insurance card, then what happens is you open that portal and it gives you a list of every treatments you had, how much the insurance paid, and how much you paid. So, which is fantastic, right? So it's like everything you want, easy. You know exactly if you can get deduction for medical expenses or not. So in Japan, if you make more than 2 million yen a year, then once you spend more than 100,000 yen, you can deduct the medical expenses. If you make less than 2 million yen, then of course you only get to deduct if it's more than 5% of your income, which makes sense. Now, which is fantastic to be honest. Now, the other thing is, if you just keep your life simple, don't try to do too much, just have a simple life. Like tax is so easy, everything just so smooth in Japan. I realized that after my trip from Asia, Mongolia, Vietnam, Korea, back to Japan, the pace in Japan is actually a lot slower, even in Tokyo, than Ho Chi Minh and Seoul. So the vibe is just a lot slower, even in Tokyo, which is surprising. But it is there. So compared to Mongolia, I think Tokyo is still faster, but otherwhere else, it's definitely a lot slower. And that said, it's very interesting that it gives you a perspective that you can be very comfortable if you live a life really simply. And sometimes I realize that when you have a lot of assets or do all these different things, there's a tax, like emotional tax. Not just a physical tax, but emotional tax. If you think about it, how much more time do you spend investing versus just do your own thing, just saving? Second, the tax becomes more complicated. How much more hours, times you spend doing that? So not just the thinking, actually doing, but also traveling different places, verifying things. Like for my case, I already have investments in Japan. So now my taxes, I haven't filed them anyway. And that's confusing already. So in fact, that's something I need to do, look into. So something not looking forward to it, but I think something that needs to be done. So, so basically, what I'm trying to say is life is simple and easy once if you have a simple needs. When you have more needs, then life becomes more complicated. And so what happened is sometimes you gotta measure my understanding, at least the way I see it, is gotta measure is the actual effort to get the needs worth it? Because imagine you have live life simply, right? You have extra 20 hours a week doing whatever you want. You decide to work harder, make more money. Guess what? You have an extra 10 hours a week for the rest of your life until maybe whatever. Now you're basically losing 10 hours of your life every week. That's like 520 hours a year. You gotta ask yourself this: is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Because if we think about it, it's like when you're collecting Social Security. You can, as in the US, you can collect it at 62 or 67. Is it worth it or not worth it? Because to break even, I think that'll be in your late 70s or 80s to break even if you collect it later year. So you got to ask yourself, are you betting that you will live long? But at the same time, in older years, you might not be as active. So sometimes it gives me a perspective. Do I want to work harder just for that extra, you can say, living lifestyle or whatever, but at a decrease of my lifespan in the past, in the future? So in terms of free time, right? Time is very important. You can never get it back. You cannot get the same energy back. Um, so that's something we have to think about, and that really caused me to rethink about life priority as well. What is important, and is it worth extra cost? And even this YouTube video, is it even worth the time for me to film this, edit this, upload this for some potential benefits? And so that's something that I think it becomes more and more important, because time is not on our side, because time is drifting away. It's more about, are you going to take the risk to say that, hey, I'm going to take the risk to have a harder life now, and where in the fact that later years of my life will be 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x better than my previous life if I just stay the course? That's something we all have to answer to. And I realized that from the simple exercise of taxes, I see that being simple is a blessing. And we'll see if it makes sense from this video, that would it actually worth my time to do the YouTube video, or maybe I should use the time to just rest and do something else. Taxes in Japan, if make less than 20 million yen, the company will take care of for you if you don't invest in any money. And frankly, it's very easy. Even if you invest, if you don't have to report to the US, it's very simple too, because the brokerages, they take the tax out of you automatically anyway. So, all right, thanks for watching this video, and I hope that taxes will not get you down too much.